Hey guys, this is Joel, and welcome to the new year at the Fincastle Pokemon Gym. My original plan to open the new year was to present a fully functioning Golem EX deck. I've told the story before. Golem is my favorite Pokemon based off of my first competitive deck that I created. My TCG live game should just have a folder for Golem decks. I've probably deleted more than I've kept at this point because I've been working on them since 151 came out. And also, like I've said before, I don't want to present something to you that you can't win games with. And I think I'm probably to the best Golem list since Cheryl rotated last spring. But I'm not showing that today. So that's one of those I said all that to say all of this kind of things. The deck I'm starting with came out of those experiments though. And all I ended up doing was swapping the Golem line for a better Pokemon line, which by seeing the video title, you already know is Greninja EX. I've played against a lot of Greninja lists online, and given how many of them I've beaten, I had not looked at him much. It seems to me like he's kind of disappeared, for the most part found a home in Palkia V-Star as just a counter Pokemon, I guess a counter for Terapagos mainly. So I have no idea how this deck compares to other people's attempts at it, but I really like this one. Greninja EX provides that missing piece that is so hard to get around in Golem. And given how much I keep talking about Golem, I'll probably just do that deck for the next video, so enough about him for now. Let's look at Ninja Frog. Greninja EX is a Stage 2 310 HP fighting Terra type. The Terra designation doesn't really matter in this one, but it may be important in other lists, so it's worth pointing that out. He has two very relevant attacks: Weakness to Psychic, no resistance, and a 1 energy retreat cost. His first attack is called Shinobi Blade, and for 1 water energy it does 170 damage, which is just enough for 2 hits on the other stage 2s. And it lets you search for a card, and it can be any card, and put it into your hand. Doesn't matter what it is, and you don't have to reveal it, which is amazing. And more on that when we get to the list. His second attack is called Mirage Barrage, and for a water and 2 colorless energies, you discard 2 energy, which can be either 2 basic energy or any special energy that accounts for at least 2. Then you can do 120 damage to any 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. But keep in mind, if you charge that with a double turbo energy, both 120s are reduced to 100 each wherever you hit. Now you can set up 2 hits with this combo, but at most, the 2 add up to 290 damage, which misses some of the big guys like Charizard EX. And what really stinks is with double turbo, you only get 270 out of it because of the reduction, and you miss those 280 HP V-Stars, which is basically just Regidrago at the moment. But the attack is still great to snipe low HP guys or to finish off a damaged Pokemon that retreated. Now the second part of the deck is what I was trying to use to replicate Cheryl from my early Golem list, but it was just too much to pull off, and that is Doxman EX. He has the ability, Time to Chow Down, that's a great name by the way, that says when you evolve him, you may heal all damage from each of your evolution Pokemon, and if you do, you discard all energy from those you heal. So he's just a Stage 1 EX Cheryl. He does have an attack called Wonder Shine, and you can use it because the requirements are colorless, but I never have. But it's there, I guess. But his ability pairs so nicely with Greninja because of Shinobi Blade's 1 energy cost, and it's going to be the main attack you use over and over, just wearing down their field until the opportunity presents itself to close the game out. Now looking at the list, the core of this list is just the basic Charizard EX build, which should just be called the Stage 2 build at this point because you can interchange almost any of them and achieve the same setup. The main difference is energy cost of attacks. Charizard, Meowscarada, Greninja EX, they all work because the energy cost doesn't get in the way. But you can see you've got the same Pidgeot EX line, Rotom for Sealstone. The supporter and the item lines are pretty similar. Now where I did branch out was the addition of Crispin, as the energy acceleration he provides can give you a quick knockout on basics before they evolve using Mirage Barrage. But I did want to rely on double turbo because of the damage reduction, but for Crispin to work, you need a different type of energy in the deck. You can't just use all water. The rest of the energy cost for Mirage Barrage doesn't matter, so you can use anything. So I put a couple of fire in, And because I did that, I added Radiant Charizard because why not? And his 250 damage that he can do, especially late in the game, allows you to finish off anything that you've previously damaged with either attack earlier in the game. Now, Professor Turo's scenario is there to pick up and reuse Darkspawn EX. Then there are the tools in the deck. You already know for Sealstone and why it's there, but the A-Spec, Sparkling Crystal, is amazing with the combos in this deck. Now, it only does work on Terra types, but it lets you attack for 1 energy less, and in here, it lets you Shinobi Blade for no energy. So when you heal with Darkspawn EX, you discard nothing. Now, Lost Remover is being played less and less and will rotate, so the Greninja Crystal combo is definitely a strong play going forward. I went with Town Store for the stadiums, just to increase the chance of getting the crystal early. And because I had it, I threw in a Lucky Helmet, because I like Lucky Helmets. The list and the build is really not as complex as it may seem just looking at it. Let's get to a few games and I'll show you. This first match was against Hydreigon EX. It wasn't a super competitive match, but it did have a lot of the mechanics that I want to show off with this deck present throughout this game. So again, you play this early turns just like Charizard EX, just getting all of your basic guys down. Getting to the Rotom, didn't need anything else here, so I'm not going to do the Sealstone. I'm just going to Instant Charge and end my turn. You can see that has me set up pretty well for the next turn. They get to a Hydreigon EX, but don't get any energy attachments, so they're pretty far behind already. On this turn, I didn't want it to get knocked off, so I attached the Sealstone to Rotom. And we'll use it to get Pidgeot. You always want to do this in this order if you have not played Charizard EX. Use your first Rare Candy to Rare Candy to Pidgeot. Then you can use Pidgeot's search to go get the next missing piece that you need. In this case, it's just another Rare Candy. So I already have Greninja from the Insta Charge. So we'll go to Greninja EX on the active and attach a water. And because they didn't have any energy attachments that turn, I don't want to Iono them or do anything else. So I'm just going to attack. Do 170 with Shinobi Blade, and I'm going to get, again, just a piece for the next turn that I can fill out with Pidgeot. And that's really how you want to start thinking about this deck as you play it and get some practice with it, is to use end of your turn into your next turn as sort of a two-part thing of how you want to use Pidgeot and Greninja to just get pieces of what you need, whether it's a Pokemon and a Rare Candy or a supporter for the next turn. Here I use Pidgeot to go ahead and get that second Greninja evolved. I'm going to play a Poffin, get a Froakie down. I think I have a Greninja prized, but I'll get him down so he is available if needed. Then we'll go ahead and just knock out this Hydreigon. And with this one, just anticipating maybe that they're going to get an attack off next turn, I'm going to go ahead and take a Darkspawn EX with my Shinobi Blade card search. You can see from my prizes there, I don't really get anything else that I need. They got a much more developed board on their turn, but are still behind, so at this point all you want to do is just chase prize cards. I'm going to get that Lucky Helmet on my active, bump their Stadium, and then I'm just going to use Boss's Orders to grab up that Pheasantipity, because that's really their main source of drawing right now, other than just using their Pidgeot. I'm going to use Quick Search off of my Pidgeot to get Darkspawn, in case I need to heal damage on the next turn again. So far I haven't needed to yet. And then I will one-shot that Pheasantipity. And with Shinobi Blade this time, I'm just going to take Greninja, see if I can get that third one evolved. I'll get a Crispin off my prizes. They attack me and discard one of my other boss's orders, so it takes that play off the table for me this turn. So I'm going to use Arven and go ahead and get my Sparkling Crystal. And then I'm also just going to get an Energy Search. That's really the only item left there that is of any use. Attach the Crystal to the benched Greninja. Then we're going to just pay the retreat costs on the damaged one. Then with Pidgeot's Search, we're going to get a Water Energy. And just hold on to that for the next turn. I don't want to attach. I'm kind of waiting to see what happens here. Get 170 on him, and with this Shinobi, I'm going to take that Crispin and see if I can get that play on the next turn. On their turn, they were able to use Monkey Dory and get 30 damage off of that Hydreigon, so I cannot two-hit it. And that kind of forces my hand here, but I've got that covered. I've got the Crispin in my hand. I'm going to go ahead and use Darkspawn to heal. Didn't really have to do that this turn, but it just shows that I wiped all the damage off with his ability, Time to Chow Down. And then with Crispin, I'm going to put water energy in my hand, use it to attach the fire. And again, I've already got Sparkling Crystal on Greninja, so all I need is 2 energies on there to do Mirage Barrage. And because it's not a double turbo, I can take out that Monkey Dory and this Wellis. So again, it kind of pays off to just kind of be patient with this deck and wait and see what you need to do. You're a little damage limited, but if you are patient and wait for the right time, you can make the right play. And what that Hydreigon deck showed me is that is not a deck you'd want to have to deal with if it gets a very fast start. So I may be looking into that one myself here before too long. I'm going to join a Charizard EX match, already in progress. They went first, got a fast start, already knocked out a Froakie. I'm just going to get him back with that Night Stretcher. I really do love this matchup though, because at 310 HP, you're not in danger from the Charizard until you get around the 4 prize card. At 4 prizes, they can do 300. With some modifiers, they can go beyond that, maybe with a Defiance Band. But really, you can take your time, just get your Greninjas in play, and then you just really want to try to keep them from getting multiple Charizards in play. You definitely don't want them to have 3. If you can limit them to 2, you're in pretty good shape. So that's why I chased down this Charmander. Got my Greninja there. Don't have the energy to attack, but I'm going to be able to get my Sparkling Crystal early in this game. Don't know how long it will last, because Charizard is one of the few decks that does play Lost Vacuum. Sometimes they play 2 copies of that. So we'll get it on Greninja. Going to retreat the Pidgeot. Go ahead and use Nest Ball, get down another Froakie. If we can get 3 Greninjas in play, we'll be in excellent shape for the rest of this game. Still haven't used my search from Pidgeot, so I'm going to do that and grab a Doxbun. And then with my attack, Shinobi Blade, I'm going to knock out Charmander. And then I've already got Rare Candy in my hand, so I'll just pick a Greninja for the next turn. And if my hand holds, I'll have everything I need. I'll be able to heal off any damage they do and take the next step. I'm back on their turn. They do use a Kieran and get a 30 damage boost, hit me for 240. They get another Charmander down as well. I'm going to go ahead on my turn and Rare Candy to my second Greninja. Then I'll Quick Search. And off a Quick Search here, because I'm going to use Doxbun, I'm going to go ahead and get my Professor Turo Scenario. Attach an energy to that bench one, since the active still has the A-Spec on. We'll evolve Doxbun and heal all 240 of that off. I don't have to discard anything because he's the one with the A-Spec. Then we'll Turo Scenario the Doxbun back up. And we'll just re-bench the Fido. And we're going to Shinobi Blade, get 170 on this Charizard. And I think on this search we're just going to get another water to get ready with the benched Greninja. So back on their turn, they do get another Charizard evolved, get him powered up, and get a Defiance Band on him. Hit me for 210. Back on my turn, I'm going to go ahead and attach again to that bench Greninja. In case I have a chance to shoot something with the sniping, there's really not any targets right now. Doxbun EX, go ahead and heal the active one more time. That'll be the last time that I can do that. I'll take Rare Candy off of Pidgeot's Quick Search. And I don't have any fire energy in the deck, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that Crispin to get a water energy into my hand. And we'll Shinobi Blade one more time. Get the knockout on this Charizard. And then I will take that Greninja so I can evolve to a third Greninja when it gets back to me if my hand holds again. I'm sure my opponent was frustrated by all the healing. Used the Counter Catcher to just take prizes, went after the Rotom. I probably would have gone after my Pidgeot, but that's what they chose to do. So I'm going to send that Pidgey up so I can make a choice on my turn, and it's probably the biggest mistake I made in this game. I had no need to put the Fido down because it gives them a target for Duskull, or for Dusclops, I guess. So I should not have laid him down. We use Pidgeot to get boss's orders and just go ahead and grab that Pheasantipity. Then we'll retreat, sending up the undamaged one with the A-Spec on. I couldn't believe that that A-Spec held that long in that game. Attach an energy to the one on the bench, and then we will knock out that Pheasantipity and just go ahead and grab that second Lysander that I have in my deck. So again, if that holds, even if it doesn't hold, as long as I have Pidgeot, I've got the win on my next turn. On their turn, they do evolve to Dusclops, not Dusknoir. They unfair stamp me, Iono me to 1, and then nuke my Greninja for 360. So it leaves me with multiple ways to win here. Just going to use my quick search off of Pidgeot. Could just grab the Lysander, but I'm going to go ahead and grab a Water Energy, since I already have this almost charged up, attached to Greninja EX, so I can use Barrage, and I'll put the 120 on that Dusclops, and the other 20 doesn't matter because I just need one prize. Very close game. Luckily, I didn't have to pay for that mistake of putting down the Fido, so lesson learned there. Admittedly, I have not been playing Greninja since its release in Twilight Masquerade. Like I said earlier, I backed into this deck trying to make Golem work, so I don't have time with it to compare it to earlier builds, but I would be very surprised if any of the earlier builds are better than this. Shinobi Blade and Quick Search let you get everything you want, almost to the point where you don't really need anything on some turns, which is a weird luxury to have. So don't waste too much time deciding what to take on a turn where you don't need anything in particular. Just be sure to plot out your next turn as you go, so you can have the pieces of your next play in hand. I think this is a great deck to start out the new year. The number of Pokemon and other decks that are weak to fighting seems to be increasing, so that's definitely a good thing for Greninja EX. Thank you guys for watching and continuing to support my channel. Watch the other videos when you have time, and any interaction with the algorithm is always appreciated. Until next time, be not afraid. Later.